to a story we've been following very closely over the last year. A former Navy sailor who was convicted and imprisoned for taking photos inside a nuclear submarine has now been released from prison. He's under house arrest. He's also holding out, by the way, for a presidential pardon. Come in, Kristian Saucier. He joins us now. Kristian, tell me, listen, you pleaded guilty, if I'm correct here, to one count of unauthorized possession and retention of national defense information. You were sentenced to a year in prison. You have 6 months of house arrest. You paid a $100 fine. You also have 100 hours of community service. Based on what you did, is that a fair sentence?
Well, first of all, let me say, I take responsibility for what I did. I made a mistake when I was a young guy. I was 22 at the time, and I took some pictures because I was really proud of the job that I did in the military, and I wanted to be able to remember it. No, I think the punishment issues out to me was a little extreme, but I was willing to accept it. That's why I pled guilty. I didn't go to trial. I said, I'll take whatever punishment they have to give me. But I think that what's the issue here is that the punishment isn't doled out evenly across the board. You have people like Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, and Huma Abedin who've committed far more egregious acts. I'm not trying to minimize what I did. I made a mistake. But the photos I took were of confidential, which is the lowest tier of classification, whereas the information they mishandled was top secret SCI, which is the highest. And, I got a year in prison, and she was allowed to run for president, and there doesn't appear to be any kind of punishment for what they did.
Kristian, you could have faced, I believe, up to 6 years in prison, and your attorneys did use, I guess you could call it the Clinton defense, where they pointed that out, that she had at least 110 highly classified emails out there, as opposed to your 6 photographs. In the sentencing, the judge didn't really reference Hillary Clinton at all, but do you think that had an impact when he came down with the final sentencing guidelines?
Well, I think a lot of things played into it. I had a really good military record, 11 years of service, and with 0 negative marks against me. I'm not a bad person. My family and I are all patriots, and it was very clear, I think, to the judge. My family served in the military since World War II, and unfortunately what was done to my family was just wrong, and I really hope, and I was very hopeful during the presidential campaign, that President Trump saw that and would make right by it, and there's still hope. We have a petition out there on our website, helpchrissaucier.com, where people can go on and sign a petition for the president to kind of review my case. I served my debt to society. I did my year, and that's why I waited to speak out about it until I could say, look, I paid a price. Nothing will ever give me back the year I lost with my wife and my daughter, who just turned 2.
Right.
But it'll definitely get me back on the right path. Like I said, unfortunately, it happened and we can't take it back. But I want to be able to move on with my life. And I think after serving 2 deployments to the Middle East and 11 years in the military, I think I should be able to get my good name back. That's what's most important to us.
And talking of which, Kristian, with this conviction, what does that mean for you going forward with regard to employment and anything else?
Well, it's been an uphill battle. I'm still applying to jobs. I'm trying to get out there. But, I'm a felon, and I have an other than honorable discharge from the military as a result of that felony charge. So, it's kind of the double entendre. So it's difficult, but we're hopeful. I'm going to move on with this. My family and I are going to be contributing members of society again, and we're going to do what we can. I'm still extremely proud to be an American. We live in the best country in the world, and luckily for us, a lot of other people felt the same way and voted for President Trump instead of Hillary Clinton. So I think we're getting on the right track as a country, and I'm really hopeful, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, we followed your case every step of the way, and we thank you for joining us today. Kristian Saucier, former U.S. Navy sailor. Thank you very much.